Throughout history, there have been several notable cases where famous individuals were mistakenly convicted of crimes they didn't commit. At number 10, Alfred Dreyfus, a French army officer wrongfully convicted of treason in 1894 in what became known as the Dreyfus Affair. He was eventually exonerated in 1906 after a long campaign by supporters highlighting anti-Semitism in France. Number 9, Reuben "Hurricane" Carter, a professional boxer wrongfully convicted of murder in 1966. His conviction was eventually overturned in 1985, after he had spent nearly 2 decades in prison. His story inspired Bob Dylan's song "Hurricane" and a film starring Denzel Washington. Number 8, Donald Marshall Jr., a Mi'kmaq man from Nova Scotia, Canada, wrongfully convicted of murder in 1971. He was exonerated in 1983 after spending 11 years in prison, leading to a public inquiry that exposed systemic racism in the Canadian justice system. Number 7, Stephen Truscott, a Canadian who was wrongfully convicted of murder at age 14 in 1959. His death sentence was commuted to life in prison, and he was released on parole in 1969. Truscott was officially acquitted by the Ontario Court of Appeal in 2007. Number 6, Adnan Syed. His case gained widespread attention through the podcast Serial. Convicted in 2000 for the murder of his ex-girlfriend Hae Min Lee, Syed maintained his innocence. His conviction was vacated in 2022, highlighting issues with the initial investigation and trial. Number 5, Timothy Evans, a British man wrongfully convicted and hanged in 1950 for the murders of his wife and infant daughter. The real killer was later found to be his neighbor, John Christie. Evans received a posthumous pardon in 1966, and his case contributed to the abolition of capital punishment in the UK. Number 4, the Central Park Five. 5 African-American and Hispanic teenagers wrongfully convicted of assaulting and raping a jogger in New York City's Central Park in 1989. Their convictions were vacated in 2002 after the real perpetrator confessed. Their story was chronicled in the documentary The Central Park Five and the Netflix series When They See Us. Number 3, West Memphis. 3, Damien Eccles, Jesse Miskelly Jr., and Jason Baldwin, teenagers convicted in 1994 for the murders of 3 boys in Arkansas. They were released in 2011 under an Alford plea after new forensic evidence supported their claims of innocence. Number 2, Ray Crone, an Arizona man wrongfully convicted of murder in 1992. DNA evidence eventually proved his innocence, leading to his release in 2002 after spending over a decade in prison, including time on death row. Number 1, David Milgaard. Wrongfully convicted of the murder of a nursing assistant in Canada in 1969, Milgaard spent 23 years in prison before DNA evidence proved his innocence in 1992. His case is one of Canada's most notorious wrongful convictions and led to significant changes in the country's criminal justice system. Thank you for watching.